The next classic I'll be doing recommendations for is Double Indemnity, which is my favorite noir and movie ever made. The first recommendation is Asphalt, from 1929. It follows a by-the-book traffic cop in Berlin during the Weimar Republic. He arrests a woman, played by Betty Amann, for trying to steal some diamonds at a jeweler. But he is seduced into letting her go. Now he finds himself completely entranced by her beauty, and Amann starts to think of ways to use this to her advantage. This is probably the earliest precursor to noir I've ever seen. The film was shot during the German Expressionist period, which noir shares a lot of aspects with, so it makes sense that there are some striking similarities. This is one of the most visually incredible silent films I've ever seen. Most German Expressionist films chose to explore the realm of fantasy and create dark, twisted worlds that you would only find in nightmares. But this is one of the few that takes place in what was modern-day Berlin, so the dark elements create a distinct style unlike anything else from this period. The Weimar Republic is something most of us don't really have a great sense of because lots of films from this period were destroyed in World War II. So seeing a film like this is a really cool time capsule, but the seedy underworld is only enhanced by director Joe May's use of shadows and slanted architecture. It just makes the film more mesmerizing to watch. There's a sense of grittiness from this movie that seldom appears from silent films of the period. Something I noticed from this latest rewatch is that the camera doesn't move as much as I remember. Most of the time it's stationary, but when it does move, it does so to extraordinary effect. Lots of these pans and tilts are what stick with me every time I see it. I also really like the performances of the two leads. Betty Amann is the one everyone talks about because she's such a great femme fatale. She does a convincing job lying to our main character and in turn, lying to us. One of the cliches I hate in films is when someone is lying, but it's obvious to the audience they are. To me, this takes us out of the film because it makes the main character seem like an idiot, but she doesn't do that here. The context allows us to know she's lying, but the performance says otherwise. This makes scenes like these very captivating. I know a common critique for silent films is the acting. It's often over the top and can come off as silly, which, yeah, I do see that, but we have to remember, without the aid of sound, performers were heavily reliant on their demeanor to convey the character's emotions. Silent films couldn't just be people standing around and having excessive title cards pop up. It's a waste of the medium. The film has some moments that can be considered over the top, but I feel that even those are warranted. A part that always sticks out to me is when Amann begs the cop not to leave for the first time. She physically throws herself onto him. This could be seen as over the top, but I think it's the perfect action for the scene. Most films probably would have had her grab his hand or have her drop to her knees to convey how badly she needs him to stay, but that wouldn't work for such a strong-willed character. The way her limbs wrap around him makes it feel like she's a black widow spider, slowly trapping an unsuspecting fly in her web. There's lots of great scenes like this that elevate this pretty standard plot, but really, most of the film is shot in close-up, which I think is one of the best aspects of it. I honestly think you could cut out every single title card and everyone would still understand what was going on for every beat. There is a possibility that this might have influenced Billy Wilder to some capacity, because Wilder was working in films in Berlin when this movie came out. So if you like Double Indemnity, you'll probably enjoy this film too for its striking imagery, excellent story, and fantastic femme fatale.